Yeah, roll call, Antonia McBride,
Present.
David Clay. Present. Lydia Dean. Absent. Eileen McDowell. Absent. Salim Bahora.
Present.
Roll call is 3, current, here and 2 absent, so we have 4. 3 of 5.
May I have a vote to approve the minutes from the last meeting of February 15, 2023?
I'll make the motion.
First by Clay,
Second the motion.
second by
We have any other business to discuss?
we're gonna have to go down. First and second,
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, okay. Roll call,
all those in favor?
yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Move past 3-0. The minutes.
Old business.
I have nothing to add to the old business. Again, it's been about a year and a half since we last met. And hence the minutes of the February 15th, 2023, which we look forward to having regular meetings that come going forward.
Right, and I'm a little rusty too, so sorry about that. We're going into new business, and our first is a public hearing, case number 2024-01. The applicant Metra, action map and text amendment, and the scope is to rezone from highway commercial to
Light manufacturing.
I'm going to recuse myself from this one.
Okay. Then I think I'd like to say then is we'd like to bring in the petitioner and the applicant to come forward. And if you can come forward, and you can go from where you're at, stand up, but we do want to swear in. And so with that, if you could say your name and address to start with. Work with your fine. I know we have 3 members from the Metra here, so, but yeah, go ahead.
Janice Sartani, 547 West Jackson, Chicago, Illinois, 60661.
Okay. Do you swear to tell the whole, do you promise and to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I promise to tell the truth,
Whole truth?
whole truth,
And nothing but the truth, so help you?
so help me God.
All right, great. Anyone else who would be testifying the same thing, would please state your name and address.
Eric Bales, 547 West Jackson Street, Chicago, Illinois.
Do you promise to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, great. Please state your name and address, sir. Thank you.
Phil Pastor, I head up the capital delivery program at Metra. I'm at 30 North LaSalle, Suite 4200 in Chicago.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So, okay, well, good. Now that you've been sworn in. Okay. Yeah, please then state the case. What happens is in your application that was submitted, I supplied that copy per page to this Planning and Zoning Commission. And for us, it starts on page 8, you see the application. And so we have the documents in hand, you have some in hand as well. And so you're welcome then to begin your presentation to discuss your plan and intent to rezone the property.
Okay, first I want to say thank you for being here tonight. We're excited to start this process. We're equally excited about what's going to happen once we get through the design and the construction of our centralized warehousing. So I'm Janice Thomas, as I said before. Eric Bales is our Senior Division Director over our supply chain assets area. And he's going to primarily do the presentation, walk you through the warehouse with our project management oversight. Ultimately, we'll be leading the charge for the, design, once we start that process, and overseeing the construction, but we're not at that point yet. We want to take care of this matter first, so that as we start to design the deal, we be building according to the proper zone. This is why we're here.
All right, great to hear.
Okay, I'll turn over here, but we all here to participate.
Yeah, continue, you can refer to anything in the documents or anything that you want to add, feel free to do so.
We keep standing.
Pardon?
We keep standing.
No, you don't have to. Oh, okay. You want to say anything, Rich?
Get our exercise. Like Janet said, I'm Eric Bales, I'm Senior Division Director over Asset Management and Supply Chain. I've been with Metra since January 2023. When I came on board, they let me know we had a central warehousing project that was in the works, so I was really excited to kind of sit and see where Metra was going, the ideas they had, and it was basically, the amount of opportunity we can provide at Metra to have an opportunity to centralize our material within a centralized location. There's four main pillars of that, and one of it is, improved inventory control. When you have your inventory under one roof, you're able to keep a better eye on it, keep costs lower. Be able to have, the correct staff and the correct training on board to understand how are we handling material, working with the user groups, knowing where they can find that material in a moment's notice, whether there's a critical need on the right of way with maybe a train that's broken down, or there's a critical need with a road crossing where a gate's been broken due to a hazard, to know where that material can be found in a moment's notice with an operation that's going to be not 24/7, but available for 24/7, but operated Sunday through Friday around the clock. And the idea is to be able to receive inbound trucks during the daylight hours, and then have the second shift, we'll call it, their main responsibility to accept all the orders that were coming from our current legacy locations, our main shops and facilities. Those pick orders coming through an electronic system, so they know they're going to the shelves, they're taking it off the shelves, they're packaging it, they're putting on pallets. They know because third shift is going to handle all the logistics, and the idea of that is to be able to get over the Chicago roads, how busy it can be. Less traffic, less density, to be able to get these just-in-time deliveries to our facilities by the morning hours. So when first shift comes on board, comes on duty, they'll have the material available if they need to be able to repair that locomotive or repair that car, so we can get these assets back out in revenue service as quick as possible. So the great opportunity to have, this centralized warehouse, and the size of the facility is going to allow us not only worry about our light running repair, but now we can focus also on our heavy running repair material, which is very bulky, very heavy, material that we need. We can't put it at the legacy locations because the storehouse footprint of those locations are so small, but this will give us the ability to put things indoors that we would normally have to keep outside, thus keeping them in better condition for when we need to apply them to a locomotive or a car. So, but with that, once we have the capacity and the ability to have bulk storage, that should be able to give us the ability to do bulk storage pricing when it comes to purchasing. So whether or not, we're purchasing, say we're purchasing 1,000 light bulbs, but we're splitting between the 6 current locations we have, but that's 6 different shipments. Now we can go to our supplier and say, we're gonna be able to purchase a year's worth, give us a discount on the price per bulb, and then that savings we're immediately on our top end, being able to deal with suppliers, not only light bulbs, but other things like brushes, locomotive parts, car parts, gates, and everything else for engineering. We'll have that flexibility now so we can keep that stuff stored under roof and out of the weather and keep it in good condition for good condition when we finally need. And then the logistics, when the inbound cost, if we have our vendors sit there and say, I only have to pay for trucking now to go to one location versus having to pay for trucking to go to 6 different locations, plus some of our other satellite locations, that is going to be that's going to be huge cost savings when dealing on logistics, because our vendors may be paying for it, for the logistics, but we're paying for it when it comes to the contracts. So we're able to have that, help them, help us when it comes to the price control, when it comes to logistics costs. So that's going to be a huge benefit that we can keep, save on our top end as well. And then, like I said, it's just the high quality of customer service we can provide to our internal business partners, our customers. Then, like I said before, engineering, mechanical, transportation, safety department, they know where the material's at, they know we're doing inventory, we're doing sub accounts, we're maintaining, we're making sure that everything's there that's needed, the accounts are accurate, there's no lost items, there's nothing missing, that everything's under the roof, what we say is there, what we say is in the computer system, is verified and available for finance and everybody else to be able to confirm that. So like I said, it's a great opportunity, and, you know, we're looking forward to having a partnership with the city of Harvey and being here and being, Harvey having a major role that Metra plays within the 6th County region, how we support and how we keep the riding public going, safe and on time and getting them from their commute to downtown and back out again. So it's really an exciting opportunity.
Any other questions from the board first or citizens? Any questions?
I do have a question. Hi, good evening, and I apologize for my tardiness today. I appreciate the presentation, and as a frequent Metra rider myself, I look forward to everything that you guys are
What line
doing.
you ride?
I use the Metra Electric to go down to the museum.
That's the best one.
Yeah, it's the best line. But jokes aside, I had a question concerning trucking. The city of Harvey, we're no shortage in the logistics of trucking. Unfortunately, trucking and unfortunately bad truckers do happen to go through our residential streets, which damage our residential streets to the point where we can no longer afford to fix them on a recurring basis. And even in the region where you're talking about, not too far away, there was a bigger issue with trucking coming from our neighbor in South Holland into one of our residential areas, which caused complaints in terms of noise, pollution, what have you. So could you speak a little bit to how your truckers and how this trucking logistics operation you have will avoid residential areas and that wear and tear that we're so worried about?
Well, I know internally with Metra, we do our own logistics for outbound shipments, so my drivers are responsible for following all municipal, local laws that you have within the city of Harvey when it talks about, getting the trucks in and out, staying in truck lanes, not cutting down residential streets. We don't wanna be bad neighbors. We obviously work with UPS and FedEx and all these other, national carriers. Well, we do what we can to let them inform them, like, hey, make sure you leave, you go out this way, and there's the highway.
Perfect, thank you.
This location, 17010 South Halsted. So that's right off of the expressway where the old, I think, Wicks Furniture was
Yeah,
at one
so
time.
some of the.
So Metra has, they occupy that building right now, right?
No, we're not in the building, we purchased the building.
Okay, 'cause I drive by there a lot, I've seen that sign up there. I always wondered what this building was for, I never saw any activity there. So up to this point, you just purchased it and in the
We did
plan?
some aesthetic enhancements on the outside, we painted it. We did the parking lot, that's there, and we did put up the sign that says Centralized Warehouse Metro. I know it says Metro.
Yeah.
We put the nice sign, we did replace the lighting in the parking lot so that we would have light around, and we did fence the majority of the parameters. So that's it.
And when you say your customer, meaning basically it's a warehouse to supply equipment for Metra,
For Metra.
trains, et cetera.
Yeah, our internal business customers, that's
For
correct.
internal business,
Yeah.
okay. Well, Metra is a governmental agency, am I correct? So is there any tax liability, I mean, property taxes or anything that they would be, was that an exempt entity?
That would be,
That we're exempt from the taxes because we are governmental.
That,
Yeah.
verify that, sometimes that comes up.
We're not exempt from the, as we, start construction farther out, any, safety, fire, permits, building permits that we have to obtain, we will still be working with the city of Harvey as we go through that process, but we know we're doing that.
That's all.
And just one additional question, just for clarification for the audience. audience. You're looking to have this rezone to light manufacturing for permitting uses insofar as trucking is concerned and the storage of, as a warehouse, correct? Okay, and you have two options here, option A and option B. One with this, the entirety of this yellow box is light manufacturing, and then one with light manufacturing, but highway commercial, carving out that building you were talking about, which I also see, the cosmetic improvement building. Why are there two separate options here?
Caesar, must be there.
Yeah, just today I was going through the mapping and I was thinking like a developer and thinking that it would probably more valuable for both the city and the owner to preserve the highway commercial portion, because at which point, if they ever want to create an outlet, you can have a commercial operator on that piece of land. And so what I did is I added, and I shared with them in advance of the meeting about these two options, and perhaps the recommendation be either option A or B to be determined as we go before council, as, because this is just initially added today, and perhaps within another week or two, a determination to be made. I shared this also with Rich, if you don't know Rich, it's B&F, and they serve as our site plan consultant. Rich, did you want to comment anything about that particular option A or B?
If you leave it with the option to leave highway commercial, the building becomes more valuable than one time. You can use it for things other than storage, stays highway commercial.
So, if I may, Caesar, as we're looking at this, I want to make sure we're looking at the same thing.
Yeah.
So if we are turn it this way, I see the parking lot, am I right? Can I walk over there?
Yeah.
You want to come with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the parking.
This is the parking lot,
This is the parking
and you
lot.
have a huge parking lot.
Huge parking lot, which is gonna be beneficial, so
Yeah.
we're not saying there's gonna be a lot of trucks like Amazon. What we have to do is give us a ability for a truck to come in, turn around, go out, also for our employees, won't be a massive number of employees, but here's kind of more about that. People parking and things like that, so the parking works. So here, I'm trying to, is this the south?
Everything in yellow, right, is your property and two parcels. This is another property here, another property here. Actually, the city owns this property here.
So then, this is the option that is all building.
This is what is current.
Okay.
Yeah,
The current is split though, right?
that's correct.
So this is option B that I have right here.
Yeah, they have it
Oh,
being.
okay. So now, this is good.
That can help a little bit.
That's good, okay, so when you come off the house, and I'm just trying to get.
Yeah,
right.
you got it, it's in front of the road, yeah.
And then you
Check
turn
that out.
into the, turn.
You turn right into the parking lot.
The parking lot.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, what piece of this, is that a front portion of the parking?
Yeah, pretty much. This is the frontage, but.
Gas
Yeah, gas
That's the gas
station.
station.
Then there's a frontage entrance here.
Okay.
But I was saying that if you want, this particular portion could be highway commercial, because you could, if you want, make it more valuable in the sense that if you're not ever going to use it, you can subdivide it, create an outlet, and have another commercial user.
Okay, so if we, right now, we came with one understanding, we'll, if that's the recommendation, we can always go back and discuss that and respond back on what, if this works or not work, what the future plans are for the building.
So-
Is it more beneficial for Harvey, the city of Harvey, if we look at it like that, or?
It would, in terms of it would create another user and create the property tax generation, as a result of.
Use that with that buy it profession?
They would have to buy it. Yeah, and you would be, that's why it's more valuable to you.
Okay, all right, so this is something we take back and discuss, so the recommendation would be A and B, and then when you come before your board, you, I guess.
City council.
City council.
City council.
I don't know, trustee council, that. And then you would, hold on.
Based on the feedback you get, give us back, that was the thought, yeah.
So we'd like to be able to take that back, because this is new.
Yeah.
I can hear what you're saying, I want to go back.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Okay, just about meeting with the plans to make sure they're, laying out the whole picture of what we need for, it's a huge system. We have
Yeah.
a lot of warehouses and, as we work through our acquisition, you just don't know what they can do. We take that back.
Okay.
Okay, that's what they told me.
Alright, thank you. City could be an asset for both the city and Metra if we can see through that recommendation, that'll be worthwhile. And then I just have one last question related to the entirety of, Metra here. What is your local employment picture looking like for this facility? Are you guys hiring locally from Harvey, or are you just allowing, open application from whatever region?
So I'll let Eric start, and based on how he answers, I may add on to it.
No problem.
Yeah, I mean, we are budgeted north of 10 positions for Harvey right now. Being that they are unionized positions, we have to let the collective bargaining agreement, work itself out.
Okay.
So basically, when time comes, we'll advertise positions, and then those current Metro employees, probably many from the Southland, will take the opportunity to finally come down here and work closer to home.
No problem. Thank you very much. That concludes my question.
We just want to be clear, the main focus though, it will not be a job creator like Amazon.
Right.
There will possibly, could be some opportunities, but they will not be large and wide. Because there are individuals currently doing the warehousing at all of the, how many?
So we have 6 current locations.
And we're just trying to centralize for cost efficiency.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, actually, there's an vote tonight if they wanna go back and review the second plan and then come back before the board again.
I was suggesting, because I think they've been very patient since they bought the land and wanted to get moving on this, and well, I think, I don't have my staff report, but I think if you open it up to the public, or anywhere, then I can comment, share what I have down as my staff report.
Okay.
After hearing, now that we heard the testimony of the petitioners, that is your full testimony, then I think we can open it up to, the public. Any commentary, for this, case?
Do we have any, public participants? Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Berserk Urban, 15925 Marshfield in Harvey. I just like to say, I'm glad that you guys are here, and that project is going forward, because I've looked at that building for a long time, and I know nobody was in there, and that's a good thing. The only question I have, and this is kind of to the board and to you guys, spot zoning used to be illegal in our city. I don't know if the laws have changed, I haven't checked. Antonia, do you know anything about that?
No, we can look into it, the
Okay.
spot zoning.
Yeah.
That's something we can look into.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another reason why I asked for the contiguity of the HC commercial district, is if you look at the map, if they turn all that into light manufacturing, you cut off the, highway commercial from the north to the southern lot. And that's another reason why I was proposing highway commercial on the front side, so you have contiguity. Now, once, let's just say they want the whole thing to be, light commercial, it appears to be a spot zone. But spot zoning usually referred to when you're trying to implement a new zoning over an existing one, and you say, oh, the user wants to do A, B, C, and D, let's rezone that spot.
Yeah.
And it creates spot. In this case, it's by default, it becomes a spot, but it's not, because we're not creating or changing the zone per se. It just, as a result of extending it all the way to the frontage, you create what appears to be a spot. But it's not spot zoning. I did read our zoning code, it didn't make any reference to the word spot zoning.
Okay.
Rich, do you want to comment?
Spell your last name.
ERVIN.
Thank you.
And I just have one more question, if somebody, because you are a governmental agency, there's no tax incentives or anything that the city of Harvey will get. So that means that you guys aren't getting tips or classes or anything like that.
We're not, this is not.
No, they be exempt, there is no taxation, therefore those items don't work for an exempt taxpayer, property tax owner. No, so there is none, there's no request for that, there is no need to request that, because there is no taxation, or property tax, I should say.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Irving. Do we have additional questions Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had a question. Brian Sinwelski, Harvey residents and head of the Harvey Historical Society. Do we know who in Harvey actually connected the Metra with that particular property? Like originally to make the sale? I was just wondering.
Well, 2020 was is you saying the purchase?
Right, the initial purchase. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it really was in September 4th, 2020 was the deed that Metra acquired the property.
Oh, okay. Do we know who was the person in Harvey that made the connection between Harvey and Metra to make that deal work?
Oh,
Do we know?
I wasn't here.
There was no
if it's for sale, they go and
We purchased the building, we just went through the process of, to go through the purchase of the building. Yeah, so.
I don't know. I wasn't here, so.
Okay.
We have additional questions? Yes, sir.
I got one more, it's not related to this, it's related to a junkyard that's being set up on 159th and between Marshfield and Marshfield and Ashland, so that would be like 100 to like 1700 West. It's an actual junkyard that's being set up. Did you guys did they come before your board and ask that they could set up a junkyard there?
Could we put that under other business so we can get a little bit more information for you?
Okay.
We'll come back to that one.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I want to ask one more thing too. I forgot.
Yes.
Related to I think it was in June, the I-Team had a report or something about this building, and there were like huge cost overruns or something for Metra. Just if there were any updates on that or resolutions or what came of that it was just this huge thing, and then the Metra board was very upset about it. Like that maybe Metra folks may have more of an update.
We're here to petition for zoning. Any additional questions outside of this, there is the process for you. But right now, we're just here to petition the planning and zoning committee for our zoning.
Any additional questions regarding this particular property? That ends our community participation. And you wanted to have your,
Yeah, and typically after the petitioner speaks, and then there's all for public commentary, then what we do is a staff and a commission deliberation, and that's where I give my report, and I did hand it out to all the petitioners today. But I did speak about the history of it, about when it was purchased in 2020. The original user, I believe, was Wicks Furniture. And basically, if you look at the exhibits that I share, you can see that, especially on page 5 of 16, clearly a rezoning is in order. There is error. I don't know how it happened, but their building is split in 2 different zones. That's why we're seeking a map amendment. They are seeking, it makes perfect sense. And so that's what we show, I show there on exhibit 3 on page 5. And then when we do any kind of text amendment, as you can see on page 7 of 7, I presented these standards by which we should be doing text amendments. I listed, and pretty much I say yes, meaning in the affirmative that this is a project that's a well-being for the community. It's compatible. It's for the public good. It stresses the feasibility of development. It's rectifying an issue and problem with the zoning map, and it's also consistent with the future land use and what is happening there, and especially about preserving the historical, the highly commercial aspect. So based on those standards, then that's so the recommendation that I have here is that we do approve it, that this board approves, this zoning commission approve the application, and we prove that we would accept either option A or B to be then, with further feedback received by Metra, as we hear what they intend to do in the future. But again, we want to preserve that, especially option B, that certainly would be, more favorable to the city. But we do want to be accommodating as well, because they might have plans to expand it, and that would really change the makeup of that lot, of the use of that lot. So that's what I wanted to share in my staff report with respect to this, but again, you guys are the ones who, make the, recommendation to council.
They can't make a recommendation yet until they decide what shortage to come in. We're not gonna close the hearing, close the hearing, and then another public hearing.
So can I ask, can I ask?
Yes.
So if we, tonight, with the, understanding we were getting Eleanor, that's what we prefer, tonight, could we move forward with that, or is it preferred that we discuss the option B and then come back? But we wanna, move on with our design.
Right.
So we can get to construction and get this function.
So you
As
want to
said,
stick
we
with
first-
it, Plan A?
Mhm.
Okay, so, we'll go ahead and, set the vote. The motion, yes.
Say motion first.
Yeah, first.
The motion, would be for case number 2024-01 from Metra to go forward with Plan A in their zoning map. Option A, which would be, the entire location being light manufacturing. They have or I need somebody to, yeah,
Second.
and we, oh,
However, I make the motion. So I
Yes.
say,
okay,
I second that motion.
okay, and then, we'll do roll call.
I'll do the roll call. McBride.
I'm recused.
Clay.
yes.
O'Hara.
Yes.
Motion stands.
Motion carries.
So,
Motion carries for Plan A to move forward.
so now what happens next? We have to come back to the, for the full city council?
Yes.
Yes. Is that, like our meeting, did you have a meeting in August, or would that be September?
As soon as I can get on and put together the whole package to the council, I'll let you know. I'll be as fast as I can do it.
You can see that there's always opportunity in the future for to come back and talk about something else that's opportunity.
That's right.
It's not like a loss, but we do wanna move forward, because we're
I understand, you've been very patient.
designing this and getting this done, going, I know Eric is.
Yeah.
As the building guy, I just wanna make one comment. No work till you get a permit,
Yes, trust me.
okay?
I oversee our capital delivery for our agency, and this is why we're going through this process, and we will make sure that we do all the things that we're supposed to do, with the permit, once we get through the design. Right now, so there's nothing going on with the building. Since we do own the building, we do check it, do proper checks to make sure everything is secure and, things like that. But there is no functionality, in the building.
If your design team has questions, don't hesitate to call the building department. We'll help you every way we can.
And we get a contact that, Mr. Pastor can have for your building department?
But for a car.
Okay, good. This is exactly what we like and want, who we can talk to and work with as we go through. We clearly understand, see it from the layout, requirement of, as we design it, the landscape, plan,
Yeah.
and some other things, so, we're gonna.
Right, and that she was referring to, and I forgot to mention in my report, that when we talk about the, Metra part of the building construction permit. Okay, thanks for mentioning that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
You as well.
Thank you.
Keep riding Metro.
That public hearing for Metra is now closed. We'll move on to public hearing case number 2024-02, applicant Lopez Tire
Shop, I'm sorry, tire shop.
Lopez Tire Shop at 16302 Halsted Street. They are requesting a special use permit to operate a tire shop. Parties, please stand.
Okay, please state your name. Those who are speaking, giving testimony, state your name and address. Begin starting from my right.
Okay, my name is John Makrakis. The address is 16201 South Halsted, Harvey, Illinois.
Okay, you swear please, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
I do.
All right.
I would spell your last name.
Makrakis, M-A-V as in Victor, R-A-K-I-S.
Next in line, who would like to speak, please just state your name and your address.
My name is Antonio Gonzalez, 840 East 152nd Street, Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, you raise your right hand, giving testimony. Please, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
So help you? Okay. Next speaker?
Speak.
Name and address, if you wish to speak.
He don't speak,
Habla español.
speak my
Su
brother.
nombre y su
José
dirección.
Salas. No sé, tengo una dirección nueva, no recuerdo mi dirección.
Okay.
Ok.
Okay, ¿puedes decir de la verdad, siempre la verdad, toda la verdad?
Sí.
Okay. Okay, you may, proceed as you would wish, in the order that you choose.
Okay, I'll start, and then it's okay if I give the,
What I state, did I give you the packet, or, that you had, that I have given, no, I have, here it is. If you wanna make, if your entire package that you submitted is in here, they have a copy of it as well, and if you wanna make reference to any of your sheets or these sheets, you're free to do so.
got it. Okay, I do have a copy of this, but I wanted to provide some additional information for them to review.
Okay. Just so, I just wanted to share this, this commission receives, every single page that is given to us is then submitted to you in exhibit 6 in the application section of the Lopez. And just for this, John, as you said, I submitted that, your applied survey, the features of your property, the address, the lot features, your also site plan was provided, and there is also testimonies as well as pictures.
Okay.
Also your spec sheet is also included, just so you know of what we have at hand.
Okay. Got it. So, the first thing I wanna hand out to you guys, so these are just gonna be photos of the unit. I think it's really important just to clarify, what we're talking about in the specific unit. The photos that are in that packet right now are actually showcasing the adjacent unit. So the building has 2 units. The unit on the left is, a 3,400 square foot unit. It has a showroom, a garage, an office space, storage space, bathrooms. So it's a much larger unit than the one we're talking about today. So this unit on the other side is, you guys all have copies? I don't know.
Just them through.
Oh, just done through, okay. So the unit that D. Lopez applied to get a business license in is 1,700 square feet, so it's a much smaller unit. It has 6 overhead drive-in doors, and the building was remodeled in 2018 and 2019, okay? It went under a complete rehab. This building, and this unit specifically, was built from the ground up. Even in the structure, the plumbing of the unit was installed, triple basin floor drains, the 6 overhead doors were installed, and the building was set up for the usage in which they're applying for. And before they applied to use this space for the 5 years before it got rehab, or after it got rehab, it was also used as a tire shop. So the reason I say this is because this space being, the size it is and under the permitted uses in the highway district, it has very limited uses under those permitted uses to use this space. So right now, I think is an excellent opportunity to take D-Lo Tire, who's been in business for 13 years at another location, and put them in this space while they want the space, because there's not too many uses. It's not too flexible on what you can use this space for. It's been built primarily for servicing automotive vehicles. The unit on the left, there's a showroom. It's a much larger space. There's flexibility in what that could be used for. It could be used under a lot more of the permitted items in the highway zoning, such as retail sales, professional offices, but the unit on the right is very specifically designed for that. So, and then I didn't end up this.
Are you looking to eventually buy that, next door unit as well?
So I am the owner of the entire building.
Okay.
So I already own both units.
Okay.
Okay. As of right now, both units are vacant, and he's applying for the unit that's 1,700 square feet, that smaller unit.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'll give you guys this. So, for a special use permit, there are standards set by Harvey Code 1604340 that states that, basically it states that a special use will not be granted, a special use permit will not be granted unless it adheres to these standards. So I wanna go through these standards and basically tell you why, this tire shop will adhere to these standards. So the first standard is it designated? It is designated. Tire sales and services is listed as a special use in the highway commercial zoning district. So it would be applicable to that standard. The second standard is this compliant? So there may be staff recommendations that it's not compliant, just based on the fact that there's no ordinance or there's nothing stating what rules or regulations they have to adhere to. But D-Lo Tire filed for a business license application in December of 2023, and upon applying for that business license, they have to go through building inspections on the building to make sure that everything in the building is up, compliant with the city standards. So that license is just proof that it did pass all the inspections done, and that's why I would say it is compliant, in this space. So the next thing on the standard is it in harmony, the location, the size, the proposed use. And I'll start by saying it's in harmony for two reasons. The first reason is it's a very small unit. It's 1,700 square feet. It's been designed from the bottom up to allow for auto service to be done in this building. So in terms of what their proposed use to do in the building is in complete harmony with what the building was built to do in 2018 and 2019, and what it previously did for 5 years in business before they applied for a business license. Now, I'm sure you're aware there was an ordinance passed by the city of Harvey, which is actually the reason why a tire shop or tire sales and service would have to get a special use permit to do business in this building or in the highway commercial zoning district. This ordinance 3445 was aimed to limit the abundance of auto-related businesses and increase complaints of their unsightly conditions, okay? Now it's true there are a lot of auto shops in Harvey, and many of which, were given business license in conditions even though they had property conditions that may be unsightly or unfavorable to the public. but this is a building that was completely remodeled, like 100% remodeled in 2018 and 2019. So there would be nothing unsightly about this property. It's in excellent condition. It's described as like new, and again, against that ordinance, it strictly speaking, that ordinance saying that, you know, they totally negate everything that is in that ordinance. So again, I would say yes, it is harmonious with, you know, what the building is intended uses and, you know, with the city's public perception of the property and, you know, how it looks to the community. The next standard will be that it's unobstructive. So again, I don't see how they would be obstructive in any way. They are a daytime automobile service business. So their goal is to bring customers into the building as it's designed to allow vehicles in effectively. And then, you know, to service their cars within 15 to 30 minutes and then send them on their way. They would not be using the parking lot for storage of cars overnight. They wouldn't be, you know, parking cars in that parking lot even during business hours. Their goal is to service vehicles and let them go. So it wouldn't be obstructive to anything that's going on in that area. It wouldn't be, the staff would say, may argue that it would be an obstruction to the adjacent unit, which at the moment is vacant. I would say it would be unobstructive to that unit because they are not going to use the parking lot, so it gives whoever the future possibility of is coming in that adjacent unit, it's giving them actually the benefit of an abundance of parking lot. Like they have both sides of the parking lot to use, so it wouldn't be obstructive for them to have, you know, neighbors next door that are operating as a
So tire shops are we're still approving somebody for that type of business as long as they are within the inspection and guidelines.
The Halsted Street. The ordinance says no new tire shops on Halsted Street.
If I could respond to that, the ordinance talks a lot about, you know, the rapid growth of the tire shops in the community, as well as their unsightly conditions. And I think that if you were just to stop the allowance of new tire shops to come in, what you're really gonna do is allow the ones that have already been placed in these buildings that are not being taken care of or deteriorated to continue to just thrive with no competition. But if you were to allow a new tire shop to come in that has 13 years of, you know, experience, has hundreds of 5-star reviews, and come into a brand new unit, then you're raising the bar, you're raising the standard of what is allowed in the city. And I believe that ordinance was put in place to screen like the people like us that are coming in for this. Like it's to screen and just to say, okay, like let's make sure this unit is up to par with our standards. Let's make sure the tenant, you know, it seems like the right guy for this bed. So I think the special use permit is absolutely necessary, and like I applaud the city of Harvey for making it this type of process. But I don't think the right answer would be to cap, you know, new businesses from entering in. You would only be keeping the standard where it is. But this is an opportunity to raise the bar to the highest. I mean, just from his previous place, this would be the highest rated tire shop in Harvey. And you know, other places would have to increase their level to compete with something like this.
So the Harvey ordinance doesn't allow tire shops on Halsted, hence their application for a special use permit?
That's correct.
Well, just to dictate, our zoning code allows permitted uses, and then special uses, and not permitted uses. And this falls under special use permit, and that's why they apply.
It's like a variance, wrong.
Yeah, not quite a variance, but special use permit. Another word is conditional use permit, is another word they use for it. Then in order for you to use it there, it's all based on
special use permits, right, that can be pretty broad, correct? Insofar as what they can do under that special use, so they're coming here for special use to do tires, right? Under special use, could they technically within the right also transition to do oil or other fixes on cars under that special use provision?
They have to stay now.
They would have to stay down.
They're around, why was it special use? Because they were buying strictly for tires.
And then for you, sir, say in an alternate universe, we do not approve this, as the owner, what would you then do with your building? Would you look for another tenant?
Yes.
That would still try to fit this mold for automotive, or would you go more the service route insofar as Starbucks or something along those lines? How would you proceed?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. You know, it's a brand new building. It was built in 2018 and 2019. And this unit specifically, like I said, the other unit is flexible enough under the highway commercial zoning that it could fit some of these zoning, or it could fit some of these permitted uses. This unit, of the size, the structure of it, there's no other use that could fit in this. Like, you could not put a restaurant in this unit. Like, there's no way for them to operate with 6 drive-in doors and the structure of the building. There's no way. And it's a brand new unit, so I wouldn't entertain like a new option. Like, honestly, I don't know what I would do. I would hope that another automobile tenant came my way and applied for this, the same thing. And that's why I just think it'd be very smart to take advantage of the opportunity to put a tenant in this space, because there aren't very many things we can do with it. And the special use allows for the tire shop to be approved in this unit. I don't have a backup, you know, like, if you were to ask me what I'm gonna do, I would probably entertain just, even looking to sell a building. I don't know what I would do. I don't know how I would pay my taxes on the building. I don't know how I'd pay my mortgage on the building if there's no income that I can receive. And if the village won't allow an automobile tenant in there, I won't be able to find another tenant.
And you have no issue with back taxes, everything's paid to date?
Yeah, all the taxes are paid, so everything on the building, you know, is taken care of. It passed all the inspections. You know, there's even insurance on the building when they came out. I mean, there wasn't a single flag that was raised of any concern for the condition.
Thank you for that, I appreciate that.
When you say it passed all inspections, up to what point? Like inspections for what? Like just the general construction of the building, or?
Yeah, general construction of the building, anything that the city of Harvey would have, you know, required to get a business license.
If I may, the part of the business license requirement is number one, is after making and paying the business license, and submitting all the materials, the first thing it goes through, and this is more recent than the past, since I've been here, is a zoning clearance. And that's what we're dealing with right now, is a zoning clearance permit, whether it's permitted, special use, not permitted, variance, text amendment, you know, like we're hearing today. And if it passes that, then it should go then to the inspection. In this case, I believe, because it was filed back in December,
Based on-
and I never saw this, but that's what this shows. Rich, if you were able to comment.
Technically, it shouldn't have been inspection until it passed on.
Right. We're just doing it right now, but that's why he's saying that they went through this and they paid for this, but you got the cart before the horse because he requires.
That might have been a point of sale inspection or something like that.
I don't know exactly the business license inspection, approved for it says approved for inspection. I know, I can't really read this, it's my first time seeing something like this, because I'm not, but it says approved here, and, that must have meant that they went through all this.
For general safety, not for a specific use.
Specific business.
All right.
So
And we'll still have to go through a second inspection.
Yes, and a site inspection.
because there's additional cost for the inspection to send someone over there to inspect for a particular use, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Additional questions? We wanna open it up to the public. Do you have any public questions, comments?
Yeah,
Yes.
I have a question, how you guys doing? In the 13 years that you ran your business, did you guys ever get any tickets or anything from the city of Harvey as far as maintaining your property or noise complaints or anything like that?
Actually, they belong to Phoenix. It's Phoenix, village of Phoenix.
Okay, but still, I'm
No.
just, what I'm trying to say is if you were a good tenant there, then I'm sure you'll be a good
Yeah,
tenant
never
when you
had
come
any
to Harvey.
violations, you know, the inspections and all that, you know, everything was fine. Even, you know, they come over and make a show, you know, cause they don't want no tires or whatever in the streets, and we have our own cage from the tri-state disposal, which they, once that was filled up, they was taking it back and everything, so, but we never had any.
Okay, that's
Maybe
good,
you don't
that's
know.
good. So if you're a good tenant there,
Mhm.
you'll come to Harvey, you'll be a good tenant in Harvey too. Yeah.
Doing more business, and because we hired for over 13 years, we hired, you know, maybe like 40 different employees, you know. We usually have like 3-4 employees, but you know, some of them stays for a year, Curtis stays for 8 years, Brandon for 3 years, and then Spanish people too, you know, but we always, you know.
Can you say again how, the tires are disposed of? I heard you say something of tire disposal.
Yeah, I'm saying, cause you know, sometimes, you know, they found tires, you know, like on the Phoenix area, you know, like the public, services, you know, they, sometimes they picked up tires or whatever, but you know, there's people that come from nowhere, but see, the thing is, we have cameras and everything, you know, and we always, you know, face into where they cave, you know, the big containers, you could feel like 600-700 tires, disposable tires. And we always, you know, if they got any issues, they come, oh, can we look at on your camera just to make sure that was not from here? So yes, they always, you know, any problem that cause on the street, they come over and look through our cameras and everything like that. So we always keep the, you know, the receipts and everything, you know, that we always pay for our disposal. And yeah, and then we do, you know, we have you know, like companies that are come with us, you know, the police department, you know, some of Harvey school districts and South Holland. And I was lucky that we got the business from them, you know.
We have additional questions. Did you, okay?
Yeah, I had another part of the question. I have never seen the building that you guys are talking about, but is there anything there to like lift a car up if you wanted to expand and do something else like oil changes or add on other services? Is it?
No.
It's not the kind of.
We don't deal with no, this is like too long, and no, just tires,
Just tires.
and tires, that's it.
Yeah, so all he does is new and used tires and balancing.
Okay, oh, that's it. Okay, that sounds good. Subject, that's why I brought it up.
Okay.
And
Do
that-
you have additional questions? Yes.
That relates to what I was going to bring up when I was actually on the Planning and Zoning Commission prior. I did vote initially for this zoning amendments, but I would definitely have to say now I would have, I would vote no to it as a taxpayer. We have many people, businesses and residents practically being taxed out of their homes. Our taxes are so high. So I just don't see, and I hope that you guys, I got pushed off of this commission because I was asking too many questions and Mayor Clark doesn't like that. But I get people coming to me all the time, like especially elderly people and people with businesses. I applaud you guys. Like, this is fantastic. We should be rolling out the red carpet for these guys. And instead, how long have you waited for this, for a permit or whatever, or for the zone? How long has this process taken you since you said, I want to be in this building and today?
Harvey,
Yes.
then December.
Okay, all right. So it's not the worst that we have heard, but still, like what I don't get, and this is where I hope you guys push back. I know the mayor has his idea of how things should go, but we're taxing people out of their homes and businesses here. We need every new business we can get. This young man, like, I want to give you an award. I'll take you out for a drink because he's willing to bet his personal fortunes on Harvey. I would definitely, if I were in your position again, I would have voted no on that zoning thing. So I just wanted to say that the taxes are out of control. Also, let's shorten the time, please, for the permitting and everything. Like, I don't know how they survive. I don't know how any of these businesses that want to be in Harvey survive. We had meetings in 2023 and 2022, and businesses were coming in telling us the same story, where it was like 6, 9, 12 months that they were waiting just to hear back from the city on anything. So I don't know how they survive financially. I don't know how they feed their families. And then also, if we can make materials online, like about this and about the Metra thing. I had tons of people who would have been here tonight. They said, oh, thank you for sharing on Facebook. You know, it wasn't online or anything. It's almost like they don't want anybody to come to the meeting. And I said, well, I can't speak to their motivation, but I'll bring it up for sure. And you're right, it should have been online. So not only the meetings online, if we can make them, but also all the materials, because we have no idea what you're talking about. We have no idea. We're just listening. I don't see any information, you know, about you or the Metra. So that's something that should be easy to fix. I just went to a meeting in Tinley Park last night. They had everything was out there. So just those things, I think, but especially not just for these guys, but just in general, we need money. So if
they have been waiting since December.
Right. But I'm saying this directly relates to them. If we're going to give them a hard time, they're going to leave tonight, and I want you all now. See, I'm not on the commission anymore, so I'm putting you all in the hot seat because you are. Clark didn't want me speaking out, but now I can speak out as a taxpayer. When they leave, they're going to tell all their friends and business owners how you treated them tonight, and you're representatives of the city, whether you agree with the mayor's policies or not. You are, okay? So that's why it's really important how you treat them. So if we give them the rigmarole and say, well, we don't want tire, why does the mayor not want auto businesses? I never understood that. So that's also a question that we need to answer and discuss as a city. I don't understand why he's picking on auto businesses, but we need the tax revenue. If we have raggedy ones, go send the, BNF can send their people, tell them to clean it up. But closing them down, we need tax money. So, thank you.
Have additional questions about, case 2024-02? Any additional questions? Okay, so we're gonna close that portion, and are we ready to vote?
I want to price staff.
Staff report.
Yeah. As you can see, as you go before my staff report, this is on page 2 of the 24 page. Basically, the history's been shared. It's also been shared about the ordinance that was passed, 3445, of which the rationale for that was really truly is to mitigate the looks, the attractiveness, the appeal of our commercial corridors, given that there's been abundance of these tire shops and auto-related businesses that are really not look favorably upon the city, and a lot of complaints. The gentleman who just left also would also share the complaint he has. Having said that, the common theme of these tire shops have been that they have not been very appealing. Again, it's nothing against you personally, it's just been the experience of the city that I've heard, hence the ordinance that was there, that was passed, ordinance 3445. And so when you look in it and go through each of these places, I want to go now to page 7, which talks about the standards for reviewing a special use permit. And this is a garage-looking building across the street and also down the road. Is it unobstructive? I say it's maybe likely obstructive. Physically, it is not. But I think that it would discourage adjacent development to locate there, whether it be an office or a restaurant. I think those types of operations do shy away from tire shops if they're located there. Traffic fitting, I just say it's more of a neutral, it's unknown. They have a lot of parking spaces there. What I do think that it may be discouraging is, and I feel this way, John, about your property, that if you look at that this building is made up of 2 units, the minute you fill up 1 unit as a tire shop, I really think that it may be more difficult. To be wrong, in my opinion, it might be very hard to fill in the larger unit unless it's a similar auto-related business. That would be compatible with a tire shop. It may be a better strategy to build a bigger unit first, but the market is what it is, and he's seeing what he has first. So as far as tracking and fitting, I'd say, don't see, it's an unknown. I do know that I've been recently involved with a tire shop called Tires Are All Got, a city-owned property, and there was a lot of activity there. There was a lot of they didn't have as many bays. They had as far as 1 or 2 bays, and most of the work was done outside, and it was somewhat unsightly, but it is a tucked away piece of property off of Halsted. In fact, it's right north of the Metra location, if you all know what I'm talking about. But all their work was outside, that I was able to see. I know the potential tenant is saying that all the work will be inside. Oftentimes, we're told things, but they may operate differently, okay? And as value preservation, I say, no, I don't believe this it doesn't preserve value. I think that it may cause a lack of perhaps other users to come into the area as a result of a tire shop. A lot of this really depending upon, the bottom line is really, how does it look when it gets there? And our past experience with tire shop hasn't been very favorable. So based on that, those standards differ from what the petitioner has submitted, but based on those, I'm recommending denial of this particular use. That's my staff report. Mr. Piccolo?
I agree with everything you said. We have to say, doesn't fit the ordinance, so we have to say no.
Okay, do I get a chance to respond?
We're not gonna put it to a vote.
It's our recommendation, and the way I read it, that they had all their opportunity to be good.
That's really.
But aren't you supposed to have a vote with your board?
No, this is just staff recommendation. They
No vote, right?
ultimately, the planning and zoning commission, yes, there's a motion and a second and a vote, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to them. This is just staff recommendation on the side.
Okay.
Do you have additional questions? Okay, I think, we'll move to vote on public hearing 224-02 for the Lopez Tire Shop for special use permit at 16302 Halsted Street. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
I say approve it. Approve it.
I just want to. I second the motion.
Roll call.
Brian,
Yes.
Clay,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Motion carries.
so this will be placed on the agenda at an upcoming board meeting.
We will let you know.
You'll have to do another presentation from the board with the motion and
Okay. So what, I'm sorry, could you say, we couldn't hear, what passed then? To recommend that it does get approved?
That they move forward to operate with a special unit permit. So
Oh,
now
okay.
they'll move forward to city council.
Bravo, board, yay.
I could just make a comment. As you can see, it's a little contentious, this issue of automobile shops, just in general in the city. But personally, my rationale is, as long as you all keep up the property so it's not unsightly, as long as you are not a public nuisance insofar as noise, additional traffic, what have you, and you comply and pay property taxes and are a responsible corporate citizen, as we like to call it, I think you'll be fine. But otherwise, don't make me look like a fool, because we trust you. 13 years in the business in Phoenix. Stellar reviews, apparently. Let's bring that to heart because we do need better businesses. So let's work together on this, yeah?
And ultimately, the decision is just, city council still has to.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
For our actions, okay, you know, so that concludes my comment on that.
Bravo, Lord.
We close public hearing 2024-02. Move to public hearing case number 2024-03. Applicant is Carter's Care 2 Daycare at 16423 through 25 Halsted Street. They are, applying for a special use permit to operate a daycare center. Please stand.
That's what I have to say.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Whenever they want to. And then I guess there's an event space that is only really open on weekends. They're not open during the hours of my operation at all. The only thing that's open is the nail shop, and they're only open during my pickup hours, not drop-off hours. So if you really look at it, it's no one in the parking lot with me during certain times.
Because I understand there are other daycares in the strip malls like that.
And my biggest concern would be that traffic, not necessarily inside the lot, like as you said, if one is an empty event space, and the other is a nail shop that isn't even operational at all hours, you are, you know, I get that point. My point, which, the economic development director here highlighted, was the amount of traffic that Halsted gets just daily, right? And pulling in and pulling off with children, you know, on a somewhat, not even somewhat, very chaotic street, right? I'm concerned about the safety of both the driver and the child. Though to your point, that's what gives you an advantage insofar as you're at a spot where you have a big casino coming and you have a highway where a lot of your current clients, and potentially new clients, are hitting on and off the expressway coming into Harvey. So that's my stance on it right now. But I'll hold my final thoughts for the vote. Thank you.
So, I think the motion will be to table this one because we wanna give you every opportunity possible to expand your business. We just wanna look through all of the, concerns first before just saying yes or no. And we appreciate, like, the younger person coming in and wanting to bring business, into the community. So we wanna table this, just look at some options to see how we can help you as well. Okay, so, for this one, public hearing 2024-03, Carter's, Daycare, Care 2 Daycare, special use permit, we're going to table, to the next meeting. May I
You make
have
that as a motion, right?
Ready, motion.
may I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion to table.
Roll call?
Brian,
Yes.
Clay,
Yes.
O'Hara,
Yes.
Is there, just as, so as staff, is there, what kind of information does this commission need to for the next, PCC meeting for the petitioners, so they're able,
If we
additional
get
information you need.
some information probably from the building owner as far as like what they're offering you and how they can assist even with, additional signage.
Okay.
Because it seems like you and the owner have a fairly constructive relationship.
Mhm.
And to your point on the designated parking or the designated pickup and drop off, if that is an option, then you can feasibly say can happen and will happen, as well as some helping us get over some of our concerns with the traffic. If you an operator or owner can help us, move you along with that, then we can potentially move forward. You see what I'm saying?
And I hope you don't think we're not being fair because those other
I was gonna ask,
locations,
so is that just
yeah,
me
those
don't
other,
have to
no,
have
those
people
other
drop off?
locations, they didn't come before us, so we didn't. And one of them on 159 near Gauger, that one's been there for so long, that was probably,
I think she's
That's-
only been there like 5 or 6 years.
but it's been a daycare center there for a
That's
really
the
long time.
one toward Finance on, one toward.
No, it's on 159 between Gauger and Vine. It's a large, they share a lot with, a laundromat and a pizza.
Oh, it was
Restaurant.
a daycare, that's the before and after care, that's the same one who has the one, on 159th by Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those didn't come before us. But we wanna, going forward, cause we're looking at everything going forward now. Yeah.
For the information you submit, I would like a letter from the building owner about the sprinklers.
Okay.
He can say he's gonna do it. He probably didn't get a price yet.
We got the price when I left you all that day.
Okay. We just need a letter having him agree to sprinkle at least those 2 spaces.
Okay.
We're going to, staff update on the comprehensive plan.
Close the public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're closing the public hearing, thank you.
I've got a question kind of pertaining to her. Since traffic management sounds like that's the real issue here, couldn't she just have her clients enter from a side street rather than from
It looks
Halsted?
like there's only one entrance on that.
That strip mall. had-
There was one entrance point that I really saw in the site plan.
Yeah, there's only one.
The alley, yeah. Right.
Yeah, the picture that she presented to us, there's only one.
Oh, okay.
There's an empty lot to the south, but don't believe
But
that's the
yes,
landlord's.
no,
It's empty,
yeah.
but it would be great if they bought it and put more parking in and had it go out to
And open
the
it up,
alley,
yeah.
yeah, but that's a whole nother site plan to consider.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Dobbs.
Would I get an email or something about the next meeting, or?
We're gonna be talking about in part of the, agenda, but our goal is to have set regular monthly meetings. And once we firm that up with this board, it'll be on a calendar, and you'll know always when the next meeting's coming.
Where would I get the calendar?
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Online, please. That'd be great.
You told me to save until the end, that place that has those record cars that have been tore up and damaged that are parked in that lot.
We just have 3 more things and then we got public comment.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's kinda ran a little long.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's okay,
I've made the note though.
okay.
So we go to, update on the comprehensive plan.
Yeah, this is really brief, only to say that right now that we have what do you call it, a working copy that's being reviewed by staff. And at which time that is done, we're gonna be working with the CMAP, what's that called, Chicago Metropolitan Area Planning Organization, and also I believe, there's a grant involved in the, comprehensive plan, and until we work with them, they're gonna give us direction about the process to follow. Because it is a grant, we have to follow their process, but the grant will always require, and per our code, it goes before the planning and zoning commission for review, and it makes a record, this, commission makes a recommendation to the city council, kind of like we're doing with these all, but with the comprehensive plan. So which time it's ready to come here, when we understand the process, it'll come before here for, recommendation to the council. So I would say, I'm guessing it's about 90% complete.
Okay. Now we're establishing the planning and zoning committee member terms. Cesar's had looked at it where we determine, how long our term limit should be.
Yeah, just a briefing, as you can see on the sheet that I provided, there's 7 slots and positions available on the planning commission, and currently there are 5 members. Of those 5 members, what we need to do is 2 things that are on the agenda. One is to set the terms, and I consider this as a startup for the planning commission. So we need to identify a 3-year term, a 2-year term, and a 1-year term, with 3 members at 3 years, 2 members at 2 years, and 2 members at 1 year, as you can see on the sheet. And so, I don't wanna make a big thing out of it, but if all 3 you wanna be 3-year terms, and then whoever, that's one way of doing this. But I'd like to start setting the terms, however you feel like you want to schedule each of your terms. If you're all approving each of 3 years, then so be it. But I'm not, you have to approve as volunteers, the term that you want, you'd like to have. If you're able to share that with me now, or, you know, however the chair would like to accept it.
What do you prefer?
2 years.
I need a 3-year.
I think it's good to have some rotation, some fresh blood in here every now and then, make sure it's not just, we don't want to get stale, you know? And outside of that, different things change, but we're all smart folks, so I feel like ultimately the commission or the commission should be advanced.
And that 2 years can always be.
Yeah, you can renew it.
Yeah, you can renew it, so there's always that option. So, you know, Mr. Clay, they love you, so keep on staying there, you know?
He went to.
I would like to think about it.
Okay, all right, so good, we got 2 people for 2 years, let's see where we go next time. All right, next thing, that's on the agenda, which is really the same sheet, is I looked at in the past about when we had regular monthly meetings, and for the most part, as you can see, prior years, they were held on Wednesday, at 6 p.m. on either the 3rd or 4th of the month. I'd like to leave here today just with commitment to say, let's meet on a particular day at 6 p.m., whether it's the 3rd, 4th, 1st, 2nd. So what is the pleasure of the council to meet?
My schedule is flexible, but also rotating due to work. Today's what, Wednesday? Work, I guess, stick to Wednesday.
Do you know what, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th Wednesday?
To me, it doesn't matter, let's say the third Wednesday.
Or if we do 2nd Wednesday, that would be the same week as city council, and we could kinda, connect with them as well.
That's why, you know, I like that idea, but
2nd Wednesday.
Okay. From this point forward, then, I'll list 2nd Wednesdays as the ongoing. I will look at, let me do this, let's pick 2nd and 3rd. I don't know if there's already someone scheduled here. on the second Wednesday. If so, it'll be the third Wednesdays of the month, if that's okay. And I'll set it going forward from third Wednesday, second priority
Or
first.
fourth Wednesday.
Or fourth.
Yeah, because we're gonna
All
kind
right.
of connect, so second or fourth.
Second or fourth, okay, very well. And, whatever, if the room is available, the following ones, as I look back over the year, see which one strikes best, second or fourth, okay? And then I'll let everybody know, and I'll then have that published, so that it gets published, and everybody will know when we have our meetings.
And we'll do 6 p.m. Is it
6.
good with everyone?
Yeah.
And we'll this information support when we meet regularly, will that, be online?
Yeah, and I'll put that on, it'll be online, it'll be important, get on your calendar. As far as commentary, all these meetings were published in the paper 15 days prior, so that was done. It was posted on the doors, as it being on the website. Perhaps my mistake, I didn't know I had to do that, I thought that was the clerk. And maybe she did, maybe she didn't, I don't know, I'll check. But what my role has always been is to give the clerk the agenda, and their role has been, as I understand it, is to publish it.
Check, it wasn't on.
Yeah, so it was published in the newspaper of South County. So I will check on the last arm of it, which is getting it on our website. And, we also know in our website, we have our agendas and the, minutes of our meetings for the PDC. And again, being new to this, first time, I didn't know, again, who actually does that. But, next time around, the agenda and the minutes certainly will be online.
And we'll look into also getting the packets.
Oh, good, that would be great. No, that would be good. I had a question related to the committee. Okay, I guess it wasn't necessarily part of that. It was, but
3-minute public comment.
are we gonna start then? I'm like, oh my god. No, just related to the member terms. How are the members selected? Just for the public's knowledge, because again, I had people asking me because the planning and zoning committee hasn't met since last January, right? So they're like, hey, what's going on with that? Are the same people? Did they clear everything out? Are they taking applications? So how does that work?
Per zoning code, the mayor, presents it to the council and the council votes.
Okay.
On council members.
So they're not like there's not like applications or something if people want to apply.
It's up to the mayor how he wants to suggest members to the council. I don't know how he does it.
Okay.
All I know is what the code says.
Got it.
Mr. Irving, your location.
Yes, 159th Street, on the north side in between Ashland and Marshfield. There is a record yard there where cars that have been hit in accidents tore up, and they've towed them there, and they've got them lined up against the back of the wall. There's weeds everywhere. There's a little trailer on that same lot. I don't know what's going on over there. And then they've got one of those flatbed trucks that carry like new cars in a large quantity sitting halfway in front of them. I guess that's to keep somebody from coming in there and stealing it, but it looks like a real sham bam over there. I don't know if they got a permit to do that, if they went before you guys and got, authorized for that. Okay.
I could certainly look into that location, see if there, I doubt if it's a permit for it, but we will look into it, and if it requires a, call it a complaint ticket, that's what we'll do.
Thank you.
Any additional, yes?
Yeah. Okay, now I'm like my actual prepared comments questions. Metra did not speak to the, they kind of evaded that as far as the article that I had read said, according to their sources, they did do major work. I was just curious, like, did they do it without permits? It was cited that they put on a new roof when they bought that, after they bought the building in May of 2020, as well as created office space.
They did get a permit from the road.
They did? Oh, okay, I just wanted to make sure. And then I had a request. I've brought it up before City Council, but since you guys are the more intimate version, it's easier, to also bring that up to you. As far as the vacant city-owned properties, I would strongly advise and encourage, and the Harvey Historical Society is very willing to cooperate with having a clear public system of how to deal with them. So all the properties will be advertised publicly. They can be viewed, put photos online. We should have public hearings before any of them are even sold, of taking public feedback. In particular, I had several complaints from residents regarding the owner of Alex's Butcher Shop. And the last city council meeting, they voted to give him for nothing or very cheap property at 159th and Center, as well as a Class 8 tax incentive. And then obviously the resident questions and the taxpayer questions are, well, why were not other bids not taken, and why were the offers not publicly discussed? I mean, but it never even got there because, again, we're never told anything about when city properties are even available. So just, I would say, to prevent any even appearance of wrongdoing, I would strongly suggest that, having a robust system in place. Like I said, it's very public and very transparent. These are all the properties the city owns. We don't want to hold on to them. We want to get rid of them. And then this is the system we're going to put in place. And I'm willing to work with you with that. I just have never really heard back from the city council, from the mayor about that. 154th Street. I'm so glad for public projects, but why are they tearing up the valuable brick pavers, and I'm assuming selling them? I have asked the city. I have not had a response. I would hope that they would at least put them aside and maybe relay them or something, but obviously we have towns like Orland that are paying millions and millions of dollars to buy new bricks to make streets like we already have, and then I don't even know what. And unfortunately, since I have not gotten an answer from the city, I can only assume that they're being sold. But who's getting the money? Where's it going? So that's an issue.
15 seconds.
And then the Metra station, we still have our 300 plus signers for that petition. We haven't gotten a response from the city yet. Just in general, for any historic preservation and restoration stuff, I would love to work with you guys in particular to establish some guidelines for that, because there's really nothing. It's like the Wild Wild West, and things are sold off and everything all the time. So
We'll try to make some of those concerns too.
okay,
This is our first meeting of the year.
right. And our new director, I would love to speak with too. And the mayor's never even officially introduced you. Like, we didn't even know. So we're all like, oh, we have an economic.
It just appeared on the.
I know.
And the monthly newsletter.
I'm like, come on, I know. I'm like, is the dude chopped liver? Like, Mr. Mayor.
I hear all your concerns. I don't want to get to back and forth, but I think a lot of these things, this is the zoning committee. So that's, from what you say is, and I'm a Harvey resident too, probably longer than you're old, It's probably something more for city council and, other subcommittees, subgroups. You saw the scope of what we were trying to address here,
Right.
That's, with all due respect.
I'm still sharing it with you because I've been in that seat, but I know the frustration of myself and other residents that we never get any answers. So I'm hoping that maybe if you ask, you might get some answers whereas we don't get any.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. We're gonna end our meeting at
Oh, sure.
8:20 p.m. We would call a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Oh, roll call. I'm trying to-
McBride,
Yes.
Clay,
Yes.
O'Hara.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for coming out, guys.
All right, okay.